Go ahead and look at me. Start by saying your name, and then just go into your story.
My name is Neal Cassidy, and I was living in the Bay Area in 1989, at the time of the Loma Prieta earthquake. And about a month before the earthquake happened, I was over at my ex-wife's house in South Berkeley on Wheeler Street, repairing a door for her. I was hanging a French door with a lot of panes of glass. And I had to go out to my car to get some tools, so I propped the door up against the doorway, and when I was outside, the door fell down with a big crash, and a bunch of the panes broke. So I had to go back in, fix them, all the panes, and about a month later, I went back over to the house to rehang the door. And once again, in the process of hanging it, I had to go outside, so I propped the door up again, and I put my toolbox against it this time, so it couldn't, no way it could slide out and fall over. And I went outside, and just as I got to my car, I heard an enormous crash. And I went, oh damn, somehow it fell over again. And then I realized it was much more than just a door, the sound of a door falling over. There was a lot of crashing noises. There was banging and all kinds of shuddering, and I realized it was an earthquake. And I looked up and I saw the telephone poles wiggling wildly to and fro, and all the wires snapping, and some of them beginning to break. And I looked down the street, and I could see about 5 blocks down Wheeler Street. It runs north-south from sort of Berkeley toward Oakland. And I was taking a geology class at San Francisco State at the time, and we'd been studying about the propagation of distinctive waves from earthquakes. And waves propagate at different intervals. There's a P wave and an S wave, and I can't remember which is first or even which is which. But one goes vertically like this. Can you see that? And one is a side-to-side motion. And I believe this one's faster, but I can't recall. But I remember seeing those waves coming down the street distinctly. And the wave that went like this, I could see everything going side to side, and it came by me, and as it went by, I went like this, and all the poles are going side to side. And then the other one, I think this was the second one, it came down the street like this, and it was like a carpet being shaken, and I could see the wave coming, and it was the ground was rising up about a foot, and it came right under me, and I remember going up in the air and back down. And just as that wave passed, I heard a woman across the street screaming, and she was running. She came running out of her house, and she came out onto a little porch, a little wooden porch on the side of the house, and she was totally freaked out, and she was screaming, "What's going on?" And just then I looked up, and I saw she had a 2- or 3-story house, and I saw that her chimney, a brick chimney, had become detached and was sliding down the roof and was going to land right on the porch. And I just instinctively said, "Get back inside." And I don't know why she listened to me, but she jumped back inside, and the pile of bricks came down and crushed the porch. And I didn't even never talk to her after that. And there was a fire going on down in downtown Berkeley that I could see out my ex-wife's window, and it was Houston's garage, which used to be downtown Berkeley, and there was an explosion down there of some oily rags or some materials caught on fire, and all the tires caught on fire. And so I thought that was maybe the extent of the earthquake, and I went down to see what was happening down there. It was a big fire. And it was only after I came back to the house that I heard that the Bay Bridge was broken, that the Cypress structure had collapsed, that the World Series had canceled, and all these other things. So it was a very interesting experience, but with all that excitement, I didn't really quite realize the magnitude of it until I actually got back and heard the radio. And then I realized that, yeah, there was a lot of damage in certain areas, but for a lot of us, the damage was kind of minimal, like, you know, broken walls and houses. But as I drove around, I started seeing more and more of the damage in different places. Anyway, that's my story.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
How many stories have you collected?
How many people will spoke Thursday that had meeting? Honestly, it's like this was.
5, 6. Oh, that's you.
Are you going for the library?
Yeah.
Probably